pitching in a game in 3 months. How did everything feel? How would you evaluate yourself out there?
It felt great to get back out there, especially with the scare I had 3 months ago. Anytime you have like that sort of setback with that sort of injury during that rehab, it's a little scary. But I trust the surgeon. He's one of the best, and I trust our performance staff. And I eat, breathe, and sleep recovery. It's a huge passion of mine, and I really trust that I'm in the right direction. Or going in the right direction.
Having not, really talked to you about this over the last year and a half, what has the process in general been like for you? I know on the one hand, Tommy John can be something that people see as a set thing, but on the other hand, guys who go through it say it can be very different. So what has your process kind of been like?
Like I had surgery right around the same time the pandemic was affecting the United States. So, it allowed me to just really focus on my recovery for the last 17 months. I didn't really have much of any FOMO or hadn't the urge to go out and do anything because there wasn't really much to do. But I'm just very thankful that I was able to come out tonight healthy, and I felt really good.
Okay, our next question will come from Justin Toscano.
Hey, Noah, during the entire process, did you get advice from anybody who had gone through it before, just to ask them about anything maybe that you wanted to know?
No, not really. I just kind of took it day by day, and I just trusted the process. I during my rehab, didn't have the liberty to do my rehab with the team. I started doing my rehab down at Cressy Sports Performance and working with Eric Schoenberg, Eric Cressy, Shane Rye, those guys down there. They really put me in good hands, and I really trusted them with my rehab.
The Mets have said a couple different things about your progression in terms of stretching out. What is your understanding of what your role might be when you can return for the team?
I feel like I'm pretty flexible. It doesn't really matter to me. I just want to go out there and compete and help the team in whatever capacity I can and pitch in some meaningful baseball games.
Thanks, Noah.
Okay, our next question will come from Bruce Beck.
Hey, Noah, were you trying to accomplish anything specific tonight, or was it just a matter of getting reps?
I'm trying to change my mentality when I'm in a competitive setting of not necessarily thinking about my mechanics, using that for the in-between work. I just want to go out there and work on competing and focusing on just throwing to the catcher and getting outs.
Did you take a deep breath after just getting through this tonight and moving forward here?
Yeah, I definitely can. It's definitely a sigh of relief and, a step in the right direction. I think we're going to evaluate how I feel tomorrow and go from there.
Thank you.
Our next question will come from Tim Britt.
Hey, Noah, good to see you. I'm wondering, have you thrown any sliders yet, whether in-game or on the side?
No, I've actually been instructed by Dr. Alchek and both Dr. Elatrosh to hold off on the sliders for the remainder of the year. It's been their understanding that the reason I might have had that setback is because of the amount of torque and high velocity when I throw my slider. So that could have definitely been the reason why I had that setback. And I'm not too frustrated with that. I think it's going to give me the opportunity to just hone on my other pitches and fine tune those.
And then a lot of pitchers talk about like the time away from the game during this recovery process kind of makes them miss it or changes their relationship to the sport. Have you learned anything about how you feel about baseball differently in these last 18 months?
Yeah, it definitely feels like something missing in my life. I'm definitely over rehabbing. It's getting pretty monotonous and boring. I'm ready to go out there and compete with the guys and hopefully make a a late season push for the playoffs.
Okay, our next question will come from Disha.
Just how much more motivated are you to return to the mound for the Mets this season, just given that you'll enter free agency after this year?
Well, that's definitely been in my mind, but all I'm really focused on right now is rehabbing and getting back to the mound. I really haven't focused on free agency or where I'll be next year. I can't imagine leaving New York or leaving the Mets. I love the culture that New York has to offer, the grit and tenacity and the hard work of all its citizens and fans. Definitely been a special company ever since 2015, that special run. And that'll be forever ingrained in me. And it's the best time of my life. And I really want to get back to that moment.
And then just to follow up on your previous answer, how has that process been for you in terms of holding back your velocity and trying to prevent another setback from happening?
I wouldn't really say I'm holding anything back. I think if I did hold anything back, I'd be more risk to injury. I just want to, really keep my mechanics clean and efficient and fluid. And I think the velocity will come back to where it was. But I'm definitely pleased with where it was tonight, given the fact that my last few BPs and even my rehab sessions a month ago or 2 months ago, my velocity wasn't where I wanted it, but it definitely felt like I had my legs underneath me and I wasn't overstriding my body efficiently.
Okay, our next question will come from Anthony.
A couple follow-ups from me, Noah. I know the slider has been obviously a big pitch for you in the past. Do you feel like you can be effective without it? And does that also, are you allowed to throw curveballs as well?
To me, I decided for the reasoning that they don't want me to throw my slider is I think it would be best if I didn't throw the curveball as well, just because the kind of the same kind of torque on the elbow. So just this last month of the season, I'll just work on 4-seam, 2-seam, and changeup, and I think I can be effective with that. And what was the original one you said about the slider?
Just if you think you can be effective with that, but you answered it. But I have the second question, just with regards to coming back in relief. Is there any part of you, knowing it could be a temporary thing, that is intrigued by the idea of coming out of the bullpen, throwing 100 or upper 90s and just letting it fly for an inning at a time?
Say it one more time, or can you hold the microphone a little closer?
Yeah. Is there any part of you that coming back potentially as a reliever that is intrigued by the idea of that, of coming out of the bullpen, throwing upper 90s and just kind of letting it fly for an inning?
To be quite honest, I don't really care what role I'm in. I just want to play in the big leagues again. It's been a long rehab, and especially with the way I felt 2 months ago when I had this original scare, I'll just be forever blessed if I can get back to the big leagues.
Our next question will come from Tim Healy.
Hey, Noah, just wanted to follow up. Tell you not to throw the curve, or that's just a step you're taking on your own based on their slider recommendation?
That's something that I did on my own. To me, I think the curveball puts just as amount of torque on the elbow as the slider.
Gotcha. Thank you.